Hey, yo, what's really good? It's your boy P. And man, listen. So I want to talk about the situation with NBA YoungBoy's partner, man. Cat by the name of D Dawg. So apparently D Dawg has received 9 new charges after his initial accident uh, doing the dash running from the police. And they set his bail at $19.7 million, fam. $19.7 million. Like, that don't even sound right. That sounds crazy. Like, part of me feels like, yeah, it's some crazy charges. But part of me feels like it's a bit targeted because, they know he's affiliated with the NBA camp. They know that his man's got the bag, and they know that they don't want him out. You know what I mean? So sometimes if it's an offense where you can't have a no bond or whatever, then they'll set the bond crazy high just in hopes that you can't afford it. Now, if you're not familiar with the initial incident, D Dawg was hospitalized, charged with manslaughter and resisting an officer. Again, he was charged with 9 new charges. I don't know exactly what those charges are that resulted in that. He had some previous charges. He did some jail time, whatever. But yeah, this one is crazy. After looking at this, I started asking myself, well, first of all, is it cool that somebody is, do you feel like he's being targeted by this bond being so high? 19.7, almost $20 million for a bond. It is kind of crazy, regardless of the charges that he's facing. And in some senses, it's like, just don't give me a bond if you're gonna give me a bond that high, because it's pretty much impossible. Like, you damn near incriminating yourself to even pay that. So at this point, they are charging him with first-degree vehicular manslaughter for the death of his associate who was in the car with him when he went on the run from the police. Just one of them sad circumstances where somebody with a criminal record just got out of jail, and they kind of look at it like, like DMX, man, I ain't going back. Next time the county or state see me, it's gonna be in the bag type. And that's a bad mentality to have, but it's relatable. I can understand why somebody who had gone through those experiences would feel that way. And granted, it's hard to get your life all the way straight when you've been too deep in the street. That's why I tell people, cut it off before you get to that point, man. It's a lot easier to never get started down that path than it is to reverse up out of there. You ever seen somebody drive into a narrow space? It's a lot easier to not drive down that narrow pathway than it is to try and back up out of there. You might need some help. You might need somebody to guide you back up out of there. And if you don't have that, great lawyer, if you don't have that, $20 million, I don't know if they could do what 10, 15% or whatever that is to bond this man out. But man, it's a tough circumstance. The NBA camp and just rappers in general right now, like, it's this terrible state that hip hop is in for those of us who love the culture. And even though, granted, we want to see these young black brothers win and we want to see them rise up out of the circumstances that they were born into, we also don't want to see them bring it with them, man. It's like when you move out the projects to the suburbs and you're trying to get away from the problems, but your kids is the ones that's causing the problems in the projects. So now you just bringing the problem to the suburbs. You feel me? So hopefully all this stuff ends well. I mean, I don't know, man. I get bad vibes off the whole thing, just with all the beefs and everything going on with these dudes, man. It just seems like it's just no end. Now, that brings me to a question I had, because I said, damn, that's pretty high. Is that the highest bond ever set in the history of bail bonds? Like, so I had to do a little bit of research, and real estate heir Robert Durst, y'all ain't ready for this, dog. Real estate heir Robert Durst received the highest bail ever in the United States at $3 billion. Wow. And I remember this case. 2003. They said he murdered his wife. They gave him a Billy. They gave him $1 billion bail, and he posted it and bounced. So he posted the $1 billion bail and then skedaddled and did the TK race, and then they caught him again. They added new charges of tampering with evidence and blah blah blah, and put that joint up to $3 billion. So that's just, if anybody ever asks you, if you need a little quiz, a little trivia question, yeah, highest bail in American history, $3 billion. Robert Durst, 2003, for the murder of his wife. But prayers up to NBA's associate D Dawg. Prayers up to NBA, because I know it's stressful being the boss at the center of all these things, and whenever something happens, people look to you to fix it. And I just pray that these young men get a chance to grow older and make an impact in their lives in a positive way, and get up out all these jams, man. It don't seem like there's no end to all this shit, to be honest with y'all, but I pray that it is. That stranger things have happened. So we'll see where it goes, man. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. So we out, man. Check in the channel. Peace.